121st birthday celebration of Mahaprabhu Johindranath Mandal. And I am very proud to be in the land of West Bengal, where the people with revolutionary thoughts and racialist thoughts gathered here. And I thank Dr. Ambedkar Memorial Trust of Hirdaypur for making this possible. And the key person, Mr. Adul Chandra Haldar, is the one who is the mastermind behind this program, and I humbly give my thanks to him. And he is the person who is remembering me about Thandai Periyar in Tamil Nadu and Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Thandai Periyar lived up to 96 years old with all his body ailments. He was carrying his urinal pot with his hand, and he addressed more than 10,000 meetings, and he walked around the world. If you calculate how long he has walked around the world, you can come around the earth 7 times. That much distance he has walked in his life. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was writing the constitutional law for 2 years with his pains. He is the person who has read all the books around the world, the highest books he read. He was the person, and he was suffering with pains, and he will be always murmuring with the pains, and he was giving voice to the people for social reform till his last breath. Like that, now he is suffering from health and all issues. He is here arranging all this program in this great Indian association, the Traditional Hall Indian Association. This is the idea of Mr. Adul Chandra Haldar, and I thank a grateful thanks to him. And the person who was doing his Master of Ceremony, Mr. Chandrasekhar Roy, I thank him very much, and my humble wishes to him. And the Ashok Kumar Sardar, and Shabindu Biswas, Sudhakar Sardar, and Mr. Pradeep Kumar Rai, and Mr. Bijush Kumar Rayan. I thank all of them. And my special thanks to my Baba Vijay Krishna and my Ma Jodha Rani. They both are so lovable. This is the right place to tell about them. And their hospitality made me overwhelmed. And I call them Baba and Ma till my life. I'm very much thankful to them for making this possible. And the owner of the sweet voice, Mrs. Smriti Khanna Hauladar, and Shambiti Poda, the both are very beautiful singers, and it is a gift that I heard their voice here. And thank you for the board member Deepali and all other who has honored here. And my dear sister Swasti Sardar, who has come from Jharkhand. For the past 4 days she was with us, and her husband also, thank you very much. And last but not least, the dignitary, my husband Dr. K. Parthibaraja, who is the backbone and support for me all my life. And he is sitting here as a proud husband without any ego, and my love to him. Thank you very much. So I'm coming to the topic today. Why we are here? Why this program? Is this only the program of Mahaprabhu Johindranath Mandal's birthday, 121st birthday, remembering of him and praising him? And is it the program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, praising him? And is it the program of Dr. Ambedkar Memorial Trust as it an annual program? This is the program to discuss about the past, the present, and the future. This is the ultimate goal of this program, to discuss our expected future and to protect ourselves from unexpected future. So what is our past? Even yesterday is our past. Last month is our past. Last year is our past. Before independence and before British period and before Mohel period, or the socialistic society prevailed here, or the primitive society, or the human evolution. Is the human evolution is our past? Or before human evolution, when the human living being started from amoeba to the monkey, is that our past? Is the Big Bang theory is our past? Yes, we have to think the past so long back. Then only we can be rationalist. Then only we can know who we are. Then only we can identify that there is no discrimination by birth. Everyone is born from a monkey by the theory of Darwin, not from the Brahma's head or shoulder or the thighs or the legs. We are not born from Brahma. We have been evolved from amoeba to a monkey, and from monkey to human, and we were without dress and without culture, and the culture evolved, and in between through Khyber Bolan, Aryans evaded into India and they separated people with different names. They were doing different jobs and they were named by their jobs, and they created a new law with the leadership of Manu. So we should know our past from long back. Then only we can identify what has happened in between. Because we lived with brotherhood. We lived with social justice. We had a very rich culture. And as a proud daughter of Tamil Nadu, I'm telling, the best culture in the world, the first language evolved was Tamil. And later every language of India evolved. And our culture is the highest culture all around the world. All other countries now, which is bigger in the world, like America, Russia, London, came after us. It evolved after us. So we had a very rich culture, socially, politically, economically, in all the fields, in medicinal field, in educational field, in literary field, we have a rich culture. Aryans evaded inside India and they created Manu Dharma Shastra and divided us. The man born in Brahma's head called as Brahmins, they have a different rule and law. They designed law for Brahmins, they defined food for Brahmins, they designed what dress should be wear, what job they should do, and what is the marriage laws for them, what are the worship laws for them. Everything was designed. And the Kshatriyas born in the shoulder of Brahma is the rulers, the kingmakers, and the Vaishyas or the business people. These three people are forward caste and the dominant sector. And Sudras born in the foot or the slaves who is born to serve the other three. And one more caste, Avarna, the Sub-Sudras or untouchables, unseeables. They were denied from education. They were denied from how to live, where to live. They were denied walking in the streets. They denied entering into temple. They denied to hear Sanskrit. If they hear Sanskrit, they will pour hot oil in your ears. They will cut the tongue if you pronounce Sanskrit mantras. You should not be seen by the upper caste people. You should not tie your dress lower than your knees. You should not wear the overcoat or overdress. The women were prohibited to wear blouses. And in Kerala, the women was fined and taxed for the size of the breast. Periyar was the person who fought for that. And many women cut off their breast. They did revolutionary protest in Kerala. And Tamil Nadu also supported and gave their hands in the fight of that. Yeah. So, the rules and regulation were separated to Sudras and Sarsudras. And one more caste is below than Sarsudras, that is women. Women was treated lower than Sarsudras. They were denied to come out of the house, they were denied for education, they were denied of sexual choices, they were denied of getting married to whom they love, they were denied to have their preferences, they were denied to have their choices, they were denied to have their own thinking. So women was treated lower than Sudras, lower than Sarsudras. The widow women were treated very badly. They were bald their head. They are not allowed to remarry. They don't have rights of property. Women was not having rights for voting. And they were in lot of crisis. And still now it is continuing. It is not fully eradicated from our society. This was the past which we had. The women in Sanatan was treated like animals, not like humans. In Ramayana, the Sanatan, because the Ramayana and Mahabharata is the biggest epic which was followed by many of us for past 2000 years. They say Ramayana and Mahabharata is the highest epic to be followed because it protects Sanatan Dharma. It protects Sanatan Dharma. It criticized women in a very bad state. It criticized Sudras in very bad state. Kuni, who makes all bad things to the people. Kaigeyi, she is getting promise from the husband to make the Rama to go to the forest. Sita, who is keeping quiet when husband says, get into the fire. Surpanaga, he is going and disturbing a family man. And Agaligai, he is punished women and Rama's leg on the Agaligai and she gets life. And Mandodari, she is keeping quiet when her husband going and disturbing a married women. All the women has been criticized, has been showed as undignified women. No dignity for women in these epics. Mahabharata, the Arjuna says, before he go to the war, he says to Lord Krishna, if we enter into this war, lot of people will die, lot of Kshatriyas will die. Then the Kshatriya women may mix the blood with Sudras. The only feeling when he was starting the war was this. He was not feeling bad for the losing a lot of life. The daughters losing the life of fathers, the wives losing the life of husbands, the sisters losing the life of brothers, and the mothers losing the sons. That was not his concern. His concern was the Kshatriya blood will mix with Shudras. That he was very much conscious about that. This is the Mahabharata. The Draupadi's robes was removed before lot of men in Mahabharata. And what the king says? He says, what the Bhishmar was present, Dronar was present there. What they are telling, you won by Duryodhana. You were won by Duryodhana. You have to submit to him. You have to obey his order. He is your Swami. What is this? Is it whether the woman is a property to be won? She is a material to be won? No. She is a woman, human with blood, with emotions. But Mahabharata states all women in this epic as lower dignified human. This is the Sanatana Dharma still prevailing, and the Sanatana Dharma has done lot against women and Sudras and Sarsudras. Before the law which has made the marriage age of women 18 years and the age of to attain marriage for men is 21, it was 100 years of protest, 100 years of fight to get this act. One girl, Philomene, she was 11 years old and married to a 41 years man, and she died in her day of marriage in first night out of blood loss. One man from Malabari, his name is Malabari, from Parsi religion, filed a case before the British Council, and in 1891 there was an act called the Consent Act. When you get married to a girl, you have to get consent to have relationship with her, but no age limit. Consent Act. Then in 1929 there was an act called Sharada Act, which says no girl should be got married before 14 years. It was decided 14 years. At that time, in Tamil Nadu Assembly, one Mr. M.K. Acharya says, our Sanatana Dharma says, if you are not making a girl to marry before 14 years, you will be sent to hell. But your law says, if you are going to get married before 14 years, you will go to jail. I cannot decide whether to go to hell or whether to go to jail. This was a statement of a member of Legislative Assembly. See how the situation in the society was prevailing at that time. Later, in 1978, nearly 100 years later, the Marriage Act was formed. Each and every act which is preventing the women dignity has a long fight. As Sati system. Sati system was prevailing, and still now in the rural area of Rajasthan, still the Sati system is prevailing, and it is emerging newly. I hear, we see from newses, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Lord William Benedict fought against it. In Tamil Nadu, one king named Thirumalai Nayakar died, and 147 wives of him was burnt alive in Sati system. 147 wives he had. They were burnt alive after his death. This was the very bad phase of Sati system. And the Devadasi system, you know Devadasi system, the first girl born in a family will be donated to the temple, and she will be used for dancing, singing about and chanting mantras about the god, and she will be sexually exploited by the Brahmins in the temple and the kings and jamindars. This was the system, and they does not have property rights, they does not have voting rights. Everything emerged after long fight. And in cases of Sudras, they also got the right of voting, right of the property, right to live dignity with a dignified life. The SC/ST Prohibition Act came very late, and lot of laws and systems we emerged after our independence, after our Indian constitutional law as made by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. He has created a beautiful way to live, and he has created lot of fundamental rights for women and the suppressed people. After that only we started living in a dignified manner. This was the concept in the past, and here I wanted to tell about my fight based on the constitutional law. I got the certificate mentioning Sneha of Tirupattur, wife of Parthiba Raja, Here we declare that she does not have no caste and no religion. This was a certificate issued by Tamil Nadu government to me. I kept argument based on Indian constitutional law. The Indian constitution says every Indian have the right to choose their religion. They can worship any god. They have rights to follow any religion, propagate any religion. They can have religious minority institutions, Christian institution, Muslim institution, Buddhist institution. It protects minority rights also. So, when the articles give freedom of religion, you can follow any religion, you can propagate any religion, vice versa, it gives the rights not to follow any religion too. We have a right not to follow any religion. So, these two arguments was there to get the certificate, and now you all appreciate for getting this certificate, and the way, the path was shown by Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar through our Indian Constitution. This was the success. And here I want to thank my parents, my father Mr. P.V. Anandakrishnan, my mother Mrs. Manimuri, both are lawyers in Tamil Nadu. They are practicing for more than 41 years, and they both studied in Madras Law College and get to know each other. They got intercaste marriage. After getting intercaste marriage, they don't wanted to mention any caste of either father's caste or mother's caste to the children. So they mentioned no caste. And the caste system is made by the religion. So they mentioned no religion also. So they named us, I am Sneha, my sister is Mumtaj Surya, and my other sister is Jennifer, named by the Christian name. So we three daughters of P.V. Anandakrishnan and Manimuri was admitted in the school without mentioning caste or religion, and we completed our school with mentioning no caste and no, nil in caste column and nil in religion column, and we got the TC from the school. And I finished my BABL in Madras, Dr. Ambedkar Government Law College, Madras, and I completed my ML in Labor and Administrative Law in Madras, Dr. Ambedkar Government Law College, Madras, and I completed my MA Sociology without mentioning caste and religion. So after doing all these things, I got an affidavit. I prepared an affidavit stating all my history, stating all my certificates, and I declared myself as no caste, no religion citizen. And I attached this affidavit for my application of any government exams or government jobs. And later, I felt very tough to handle with this, and I approached the Tahsildar office for issuing me a certificate of no caste and no religion in 2010. After 10 years of fight, I got my certificate on February 5th, 2019. So I got married in 2005 with Dr. Parthiba Raja, who is a feminist, who is a rationalist, who is an atheist, who is a writer, who is a progressive mentality, the man without ego and the man without any conservative ideology, and he treats men and women equally, and he make the family a democratic one. And I got married with him in 2005. Since he had all this ideology, we got a love marriage and an intercaste marriage. So we decided to name our children with different minority names. So my elder daughter is Adirai Nazreen. Adirai is a Buddhist name and Nazreen is a Muslim name. And my second daughter is Adila Irene. Adila is an Islam name and Irene is a Christian name. And my third daughter is Arifa Jessie. Arifa is a Muslim name and Jessie is a Christian name. Now when I say my daughter's name, no one can identify which religion they belong to. And I specifically avoided a Hindu name because the Hindu The Hinduism creates caste discrimination and untouchability. And you know one thing? Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana, in 4 Vedas, there is no mention of the name Hindu. In Ramayana, in Mahabharata, 2 long epics, there is no mention of the name Hindu. In Bhakti literatures, there is no mention of the name Hindu. So there is no religion called Hindu. This religion is actually a Sanatan religion. It is a Manu religion. For the ruling facilities, for the ruling comfort, they named this Bharat as India. They kept the religion as Hindus and they created a language, Hindi. And they suppressed the regional languages. The regional languages has been suppressed. And so there is no Hindu prevailing. But what is the present situation? Our country is going to be Hindu Rashtra, as the wish of 100 years dream of RSS. 100 years dream of RSS is to create Hindu Rashtra. If it is going to be Hindu Rashtra, we are going to go back 2000 years behind. And what will happen? Again, everyone will do what your father's job you have to do. The Kula system will come again. If your father is a cobbler, you go and stitch. If your father is a pot maker, go and do that. If your father is a farmer, go back to that. This is proven by the NEP, National Education Policy. They say the same in National Education Policy. They are telling you should study up to 8th class, and the 3rd class and 5th class and 8th class will have a board exam. If you are going to fail in that, go and have a diploma course in which your father was working or your grandfather was working, your great-grandfather was working. After 4 years of 9th, 10th and 11th, 12th classes, you have to do your degree for 4 years. That too, if you are going to do it in Sanskrit, you will get 50% concession. And if you are going to do your master degree, you should do it for 4 years. And if you are going to do a PhD, 90% exception from the fees if you are doing it in research in Sanskrit. If other languages, no. And they are going to create a Navodaya schools. They are going to close all the schools around 20 kilometers. Only one school for 20 kilometers, that is Navodaya school, where our children could not go and study from the village or rural area. The downtrodden people who is not having a good background, where the parents are not educated, cannot complete their school at all. So this is the policy, national education policy we are getting. And RBI is ruled by Hindutva people. Election Commission is ruled by them. The judicial system ruled by them. Supreme Court ruled by them. We can see the Ramar temple judgment. Our constitution says this is a secular state, but our president, our prime minister will go and open Ramar temple. He will do all the mantras, all things. Where is the secularism? So they are going to replace constitutional law with Manodharma Shastra. Yes. This is going to happen in future, and this is what we are afraid of. So all the and we can see how the minority people will be treated, the states will be treated, and the linguistic minorities, how they will suffer. The Manipur is the example. So everything is everything is named in Indrashtra names, in Sanskrit names. All the laws, the names have been changed, the street names have been changed, the town names have been changed, the government schemes, the government offices, every name is changed into Sanskrit, not in the regional language. Your language, the constitutional law gives a central government sovereignty and the state government sovereignty. Everything will be demolished. One election, one country, one ruler, one language, everything will be one. So if it is going to be in that state, we will be very, very bad state of slaves, more than British rule, more than other rules. We all will be like more than 80 journalists and writers are in the jail now. More than 100 writers, journalists have been killed. In the same way, all of us are going to face the difficulties in the society. So our future is a question mark. So we have to protect our constitution and our state. What is the way? Now we are coming to the future. We have discussed about the past. We discussed about the present. So what is the future? Future is filled only with the fear? No. It is not only filled with the fear. It is filled with ideologies. It is filled with the ideology of Karl Marx. It is filled with the ideology of Dr. Ambedkar. It is filled with the ideology of Thandai Periyar. And we are having the weapons in our hand to fight against this system. We are having the weapon. And with the weapon, we have to fight against the suppression on Sudras and Sasudras, the oppressed people and women and children. Now the women is treated very badly as it was treated in Gujarat in 2002. After the Gujarat issue, lot of Muslim women and Dalit women was raped. The children was killed. The Muslims was burnt alive. The Dalit people was burnt alive. The same situation is coming back. So we have to take the swords and the shields in our hand, which is our ideology. The ideology is our sword and the shield. With this ideology, we have to ensure the constitutional rights. We have to ensure we the people of India is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. We should ensure such things, and the social, economical, political justice we should ensure. And we should ensure the liberty of thought, expression, belief and faith. We should ensure the status and opportunity in worship, equality in status, equality in opportunity, equality in worship, and not to worship too. And we have to safeguard our dignity, unity, integrity of nation and fraternity. And this should be ensured to all the Indian who having the ideology in the hands. We should safeguard the people around us who are not having the ideology but suffering. Suffering out of oppressions, suffering out of suppressions, suffering of social indignity. And the future, we have to ensure the sovereignty of the state and central by national democracy. National democracy is the first and foremost thing. The second one is social democracy. There should not be any discrimination by birth. By birth, you should not discriminate by caste or religion or gender or disability or third gender. You should not discriminate anyone by birth. So the social democracy should be ensured, and political democracy. Each and every social sector should have their representatives in politics. Women representatives, disabled representatives, downtrodden peoples, suppressed class representatives, and linguistic minorities representatives, and all the representatives should be there in politics, in legislative assemblies, in parliaments. That is political democracy and economical democracy. Everyone should be educated and ensured with economical democracy, economical freedom, and they should be fulfilled. There should no one should be below poverty line. We have to ensure that with education. So national democracy, social democracy, and political democracy and economical democracy should be ensured with the sword and shield of ideology of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Dr. Tandai Periyar and Karl Marx. And this is the ideology we should take in our hands, and it is the light of our society. And thank you for giving this beautiful opportunity to me, and Onek Dhanobad. Thank you.